All right, so I'm going to take a moment just to talk through the data provenance piece. This is one that you really just want to download NiFi and try this yourself so you can see and kind of get a very real sense of what this means, because it's a very big deal. So while this data flow is happening, we're pulling in tweets, we're sending data to HDFS, NiFi is automatically recording the data that's being captured, information about the data being captured, where it came from, what time it occurred, pointers to the exact content at each point in the flow. And so if you just go up to the top right part of this graph, you can click on this data provenance icon, and that brings up a tabular, kind of almost like a database table looking dump of provenance events. You can then start searching for events of interest. Once you've done that, you can click on any one of them and have it tell you, not just look at kind of a traditional log structure of what occurred, but now actually click on a data lineage icon, which will then have the application compute and visualize the actual graph or path that the data took through the system. And so now you can see exactly where it was received and where it was sent. And if we made any transformations, like if we converted the JSON to Avro, or if we extracted elements out of that JSON and created some other format, or if we did encryption or compression or decompression, whatever the case may be, there'd be a provenance event for each of those changes. And now you can right-click on each of those events and look exactly at what we knew at that time. You can follow the kind of chronology of events that occurred and see precisely how the data flow unfolded. So here's an example of looking at the details of one of those dots on the graph, if you will. Now keep in mind, we're looking at historical information, but this is historical information that could have literally just occurred. You could use this to essentially watch a data flow unfold, if you will. And so now here we're looking at the details of a specific provenance event. You can actually click on the Content tab, and what this allows you to do is view the content as it existed precisely at that point in the flow. Think of this like a finite state machine with persistence behind it, so that you could roll back time and kind of step through precisely what happened. Really cool. Really helpful if you're doing things like transforming data from one format to another, which is a notoriously unpleasant experience simply because people can't see what's happening. This has addressed that problem because now you can view before and after. Makes it really easy to understand whether you're on the right track. It also means if you're not, let's say you did this transformation and it wasn't quite correct, it means you can fix it and then click on this replay button. It will take the exact same source content and context, but run it against the new configuration. Now you can look at that result. And so just think about what that means for like iterating essentially in real time until you get it right, and then you're good to go. So here we're actually looking at the content. I'm sure that that's quite difficult to see, frankly. What's on the left in this case is an actual tweet. So we're looking at the payload of the tweet. This is a JSON object that came from Twitter, for example. But we can click precisely to that content. Here you can see what it looks like as a flow starts to look more realistic, right? Like I said before, it's not just linear chains. These things expand out.